Hi, this is Mandy with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is goal setting for 2024. We're going to go over how you can see that and track that within your command right here on the dashboard that you see on your screen, but also in your reports tab over here on the left. Great information sitting back there if you ever like to track the numbers on your business and how close you are to the goals that you've set for yourself. And I'll also show you how to actually go step by step and fill out your goals for 2024. So if you have any questions and you're watching here live, please drop your questions in the chat. If you are watching this on recording on our YouTube channel and you have any questions as we go along, you can reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be happy to help you with that. All right. So let's go ahead and jump in here. I do recommend if you're watching this right here live with us, sit back, take the big picture in, just to get a big overview of what this can do for you and what all you can see here. And then after the class, grab the archive off our YouTube channel, or if you're already watching this on YouTube, you can then pause it, move it in slower time, work through your command at the same time while you're watching the demonstration and really get into the nitty-gritty details. But as we have our class today, we do kind of move a little quickly, just because we have so much we want to cover with you. So it might be a better option just to sit and soak, sit and take in the overview, and definitely let me know if you have any questions as we go along. Okay. All right. So right here on your command dashboard, there is a goals widget that is now available to view a preview of your goals. If you do not see this when you come in to look at your dashboard, you can always come over here to the customize button, an action button right here within your command, and hit that customize button. On the left-hand side, you can choose the widgets that appear. This is the one you're looking for right here with the little trophy and goals. So make sure that is checked. And then on the right-hand side, you can actually move the widgets in the order that you want to see them. So for today, you can see we have goals floating right here at the top for convenience, but you can put it wherever you'd like it, depending on what you want to see first when you first sign into your command. So just hit apply. If you made any changes, we're going to cancel to get out of that. We already have ours right where we want it to be. And then we'll jump in here to the goals and just cover the details. First things first, do notice that the goals word itself, the title on this widget is actually a hyperlink. If I were to give that a click, it would take me right over to my reports tab over here on the left. We're going to jump into that in just a little bit. Do remember that this widget is kind of a glimpse. It's going to give you a little bit of your data. And so if you want to get into more details and see more of your goals, we'll definitely jump into your reports tab to do that. So over here on the right, you'll also notice a filter option. Right now we have it set year to date, but you can also choose this to show month to date, depending on what you prefer. We're going to leave it year to date for our demonstration here today. And the next thing I want to show you are the different stages that you see here. These are the different goals that you've set for yourself, and they will update automatically. The very first one that you see here is leads. These are going to be contacts that you have here in your contacts database that are marked as a lead. That's kind of a way of indicating to yourself that you still need to have that real estate conversation with them. You still need to make that first good connection with them. So if they are marked leads or they automatically come into your command database, maybe through entering their information on your website or a campaign, they're marked leads. So that number will adjust automatically. Anytime you go in and unmark a lead to make it just a contact and it no longer is marked with the L in the little blue circle as a lead, then this will adjust accordingly as well. But it tracks how many leads you've actually had month to date. So it doesn't reduce the number. Okay. I'll actually show you in your reports tab here that it does break it out to leads and contacts. That's when the number will increase on your contacts to show you how much you're working with in your business. Hopefully, I'm not confusing you. So let's move on. Right here, it'll show you the number of leads that you've had year to date. Same with right underneath each different stage. It'll show you the number year to date. At the bottom, it'll show your number that you've set for your annual goal And the percentage will show you how close you are to meeting each one of those. These are even color coded little circles right here, and they will begin to fill in. If you're a visual person, it's very satisfying to watch. Over here to the right are your appointments. Now, this will change as an update automatically as you create opportunities and update to that stage. Um, that's where the numbers begin pulling from right here. Next is under contract. So again, as you're changing those stages with your opportunities, these will update automatically. Same with closed units so that you can preview all of that right here. Your GCI goal breakdown, that's gross commission income. It gives you a breakdown your year to date and also the estimated total GCI goal that you set for yourself and how close you are to accomplishing that. Okay. And so that's a mighty big pop up. When you hover over it, it gives you that. So your profit goal percentage of what you are, how close you are to hitting that. Okay. So that's just the preview right here. I want to jump in and show you everything it can actually show you. So over here on the left, we're going to migrate over to your reports tab. If you're not familiar with the icons just yet, you can hit the red square and it'll pop the names out for you. So this is the one that looks like a bar graph with the reports word right beside it. As we move into here, there is a lot of numbers for your database back here, guys. Also, text and calls that you do, lead routing that you may do if you're on a team, emails, it tracks your smart plans and your campaigns, wealth of knowledge. Highly recommend checking it all out when you have time. We're going to focus right here on the goals tab option. I'm going to give that a click. Now, you may notice the big blue banner across the top that actually lets you know this information is coming from Opportunities Applet and may not update instantly. We have found that right here, the goals reports do update at the end of the month. Your Market Center actually has to go through transmittal for these numbers to update. So don't panic if you've moved an opportunity into a new stage, or maybe you had a closing and you're not seeing the numbers reflected just yet. It's because this will update at the end of the month when your Market Center does transmittal. Okay. If you have any questions about your numbers between that time frame, just recommend you go talk to your local MCA, your Market Center administrator. They track all of your numbers and maybe they'll be able to give you an instant snapshot of your business at that point if you need it anytime between then and the end of the month. Okay. All right. So you can just disregard the blue banner. Let me just show you the general layout and then we'll jump in here and actually look through the percentages and things like that. So again, over here on the right, you'll notice some filter options right here. We're looking at the 2023 goals because we actually had those set up for demonstration. So I actually have some numbers to show you on that, but you can see where you can toggle over to your 2024 if need be. Just don't have anything set up just yet, but it is kind of neat that it shows you how much time you have before you start working on those goals. And in real estate, you already know that your fourth quarter of this year is going to generate the business for your first quarter next year. So technically, you're already working on your first quarter for 2024. But this is a nice little countdown until you get to see the reward of those numbers, right? All right, and so we're going to switch back to 2023 goals here. And over to the right, you'll notice there's a green or teal action button for goal setting. And this is where we're going to jump in and actually set those numbers for 2024. And so moving on down, you'll notice right here, it says goals versus actual. And then below that, we have a profit tracker and some really cool graphs down here. I'm going to cover all this for you. Just wanted you to get a visual overview. So right here where it has goals versus actual, this is just more detailed than what we were looking at on the main widget. And do notice that this actually includes leases now, whereas the main widget on the front does not. So this is leases that are now going to be compared, as well as listings, buyers, the lead gen that you've done. And we have some more filter options. So let's look at those. First, you can choose to toggle between viewing your business based on listings, buyers, and leases. And also, you can toggle between a year's comparison or a month as well. That is all for your information, just looking at your business. Over to the right, you'll notice a compare button, the compare toggle. If I were to toggle that on, it's actually going to show me the comparison of my business versus others. You'll notice this other filter option came up right here. It says all agents. If I click that, I can compare against all agents in my market center, in my state, in KW as a whole, and I can even compare myself per production against top producing agents. It's a great way to look, guys. I'm not a big fan of comparing your business to other people. I just think this is a great tool right here just to see if you are doing the same things that other agents have proven are the right daily tasks to be doing in order to get the same great top producing results. So it is pretty handy dandy. Let me let a few more people in the waiting room here. There we go. And so you can also see agents in my production bracket that are your shoulder to shoulder colleagues, and then also agents in production bracket above yours. So your next step to take in growing your business. So if you want to see that, you can tell that by this little circle on the inside right here that I'm hovering over. Your ring is the outside with the different multicolors based on the legend right here that tells us the different colors. However, inside I guess it's like a charcoal gray or black, I don't know what it's showing on your screen, but that's the actual color for the other agents. And if you hover over it, you'll see the percentage right here to the right. So 87% of all agents, all KW agents, actually have an 87% year to date score as far as reaching their goals for the year. And we're at one. But remember, this is a demo account, so don't judge us too harshly. So you can turn off that comparison feature right there. I'm going to do that just to make it a little easier to view this today. I'll scroll down just a hair. And here again, you'll notice the similar stages that we were looking at on the dashboard. Leads, but this one also adds contacts. Again, if you unmark that lead, it turns into a basic contact, which means you've had that real estate conversation with them. These two numbers do update automatically as you are adding contacts, importing contacts into your command database, and then also generating leads based off your website, campaigns, anything that you have set up to automatically feed leads into your command database. Okay, so that's where these numbers are pulling from. Same layout we saw on the dashboard. You'll see how close you are to the year, to the date, and then also your annual goal of what you had set to actually get to. And then it'll show you the percentage of how close you are to meeting that. I'll move over here to this other circle so you can see where the color is starting to generate. When it's at 28%, you'll see that color moving around that circle and starting to fill in. Very similar to an Apple iPhone watch, right? Or an Apple Watch where you can complete your rings for the day. Does anybody else obsess over those? I don't. I don't have my watch anymore, but it was outdated and I couldn't see spinning as much for a new one. But I just have people in my life that just obsess over those rings. They got to get them closed. Well, this is very similar. Looking at those day to day in your business might get you motivated to get those rings closed. And so when you hover over them again, it'll break out that percentage right here for appointment set. You'll notice that it says 21 for listings, 7% for buyers, and 0 for leases. So it gives you even further of a breakdown in your business. Okay. And also for those different stages for appointment set, this updates when you enter the appointment scheduled date in your opportunity, in the details section of your opportunity. Appointments kept is once you actually enter the appointment date in the details section of the opportunities. And then for agreements, it's actually once you have entered the agreement one and the contract date on that opportunity. Same for under contract is actually once you have saved the contract, saved data in the contract date field on your opportunity and moved that to the under contract phase in your opportunities pipeline. Closed units, pretty obvious. That is when you actually close the opportunity and have a date saved for the close date in that closed phase in your opportunities pipeline. Okay. All right. If you have any questions about this section as we're going along, please, again, I invite you to put questions in the chat. And if you are watching this back live, you can always email us at support@Scott-Leroy Marketing. Moving on down, we have our profit tracker right here. Hopefully yours is showing a little more than ours is. Again, demo account, right? But this is what you want your take home to be after your expenses, after your sales cost, before taxes. Okay. That's what your profit tracker is. And so over here on the right, you'll notice it lets you know if you're on track. On the watch means you're 80 to 99% on track to hitting your goal, but on alert does let you know you are 79% or below for tracking your goals. Okay. And you do have a filter option on this one as well. You can toggle back and forth from this month to this year just to view that and what it is. And it'll just give you that nice little visual of moving right on along. You can see since we don't have any percentage showing up, I've got my screen zoomed in. Let me take it down just a hair so you can see that whole pop up. But if I come back over here, it'll let you know your goal of 100% or $100,000, and on the right, you'll notice it says 0% on alert, and it's red right there, got a little red line. That's just letting you know, again, based on this code right here, how close or how far we are from meeting that goal. Let me zoom back in for you so you can see. Okay. And moving on down to your beautiful graphs down here at the bottom, you do have your activities breakdown as well, and you can toggle back and forth this month and this year. If you're not familiar with activities, go ahead and shoot us an email. We can send you the information, but this is where you can actually track your activities that you've been doing. If you're on a team, you probably already do this for your team, where you can track the activities that you are doing daily to generate business and giving that accountability report. But you can actually see that right here. And it just goes to show this is through Smart Plans for Us, Notes, or others. And if I hover over others, it shows you the other things within your command that you could be doing, the other activities to actually generate business. So things like meetings, calls, these are things that you've made a note on in your command contacts database, like you had a meeting with one of your contacts, all the lead gen calls that you do, emails you send out, if you have a Twilio account, any activity you've been doing on that, it'll all show right here and actually kind of show you what activities you're doing in your business to generate that income. What is actually paying off for you, right? If you're not seeing the numbers that you want to see and you're not hitting your profit goal that you want to be hitting, maybe you need to look down here. What activities are you doing and how can you adjust those on the daily, right? Your daily routine is actually what impacts your future profit. So if we come over here to the goal, or excuse me, the goal conversion rate chart, it's just another breakdown, another way of visually viewing this from a pie view over here to a funnel view, actually showing you how much you're actually converting in your business. Again, a filter view this month versus this year, whatever you would prefer to see. And this is actually showing you the top part of this whole funnel right here. Pretty much every single phase or stage of that opportunity from the time that this contact comes in as a lead to the time just before you put them under contract, that's all lead generation, right? Then it becomes profit after that point and becomes closed units and helps you reach that $100,000 profit goal or whatever you may have your set as. This shows over here, this number underneath shows how many you need to be able to hit that profit share goal based on your conversion rate and your goals that you have set. I'm going to show you how to do both of those. Okay. And so then over here to the right, you have your GCI goal breakdown. Again, this month or this year. And you can see percentages if you would like instead of just the color coding, but you can always see the percentages when you hover over it. Now, this shows you your estimated total GCI for that particular year. This means what you need to actually hit your profit goal, but also cover all of your operating expenses and also your cost of sales. I'm going to break down the definition of that for you in just a minute, okay? In case anybody's wondering what the difference is of your cost and sales versus operating expenses. I know a decade or more ago, when I very first got into real estate, I wish somebody had sat down and explained that to me. And over here, you can again toggle on to see the actual values show up in percentages. So you can see that we are at about excuse me, we have 6% of our GCI goes to cost of sales, 12% goes to operating cost, and 82% of this goes to profit. These are not realistic numbers. You can obviously tell this is a demo account. So I'm going to turn off those percentages so you can actually see the figures if you choose to see it that way. Okay. And it also lets you know how much you have an estimated year to date to let you know how close or again, how far you are from those goals. All right. So this is what the reports tab can actually show you about your goals. I'm just going to scroll back up here to the top so that we can go over here to the right and actually set these goals. I want to show you how you can do that. So just give that a click and give it a moment. Clear the frog out of my throat. There we go. And then this is just reviewing. We're going to set goals and then you'll get a chance to review it as well. We'll just go ahead and hit get started. All right. And so from right here, you can come right over here to the left and you're going to choose your year. Now it's already on the year that we want to do next year. But if you want to work on this year for some reason, you can also choose that as well. Just remember, fourth quarter of the current year is actually business for your first quarter because that's when your closings will happen, right? So it's actually business for your first quarter in 2024. So we're going to grab 2024 here. And notice that we're going to move through 3 different stages here. We're going to set our goals, set our conversion rates, and actually review our goals before we set them in stone. Okay. And at any time, if you need to come back here and adjust them, you can always do that. Not a problem. And so for 2024, we need to enter an annual profit goal. We're going to make it super easy just to keep a nice round number, but you need to enter whatever it is genuinely that you would like to do for your business next year. I'll tell you what a real estate coach once told me. They said, okay, set it in your mind what you want your profit goal and now double it. Push yourself, dream big, right? So, whatever you would like to set for your profit goal, this is again your take home after expenses, after cost of sale, but before taxes. Okay. Because, as independent contractors, you were setting aside taxes on your own. So this would still include the cost of taxes in it, and you would need to divvy that out once you personally got the income. And so right there, we can set our profit goal. And the next, you'll see this updating over here on the right as we are adjusting the numbers on your left. I'm trying to scroll down to keep it towards the center of your screen. So sorry if you see it keep moving back and forth there. Okay. And so then we want to fill out our expenses. Expenses are made whether or not a transaction actually takes place. These are going to be things that you have to pay for in business, whether you are actually closing a deal or not. Think about salaries. If you're paying yourself, if you're paying an assistant, this would be cost of lead generating. This would be marketing expenses that you are already investing for you, your brand, maybe your team. Those are expenses that will already take place whether or not you're actually advertising your own deal. Okay. Think about education. Think about licensing expenses. Think about CE expenses. These are all things that you need to add up that would be your actual operating expenses for your business. Okay. And so we're just going to put a nice little round number in there um, just to keep it easy peasy for these figures. But again, you do whatever you need to do for your personal business. Now, cost of sales. These are going to be expenses that are made when a transaction takes place. Think about maybe your split to your market center, your split to another agent, maybe a referral fee. Think about your marketing package that you offer that's unique to you. What do you do for a listing if you get a listing? Are there specific marketing things that you do and offer? What about closing gifts? What about for a buyer? What do you put in for a particular buyer? How much gas do you spend on average? On how many homes do you normally show on average to a buyer before you get them under contract? And these are things you'll learn about your business as you go along, but there's going to be average expenses that you're going to incur once you actually do have that transaction with that contact, right? Or with that lead. So those are the types of things that you need to put into cost of sales. Maybe you know that on average, you want to maybe close 20 deals this year. Maybe it's 50 deals, maybe it's 200 deals, whatever it is. Well, you need to take that cost of sales and multiply it times the number that you think you might need. And you can actually do that once you go through setting up your goals. You might want to come back and adjust it once you learn how many of your listings and how many buyers you're actually going to need to hit your goals. And you'll come back and adjust the cost of sales if you need to. Okay. But whatever your cost of sales is, just go ahead and put that in here. And then you can see over here on the far right hand side, when I want to take home 100K, I need to be generating 150K, right? And even after the 100K comes home, I need to probably set aside about 30% of that for taxes. Okay. And so down here, you can actually get into your business makeup. This is based on how much you do for listings, how much business you do for buyers, and how much you do for leases. If you know you don't do any leases at all, you just don't work in that field, you can keep this at 0. But these numbers need to equal 100. So, just for today's purposes, we're going to say that this person runs a 50-50 business. They're half buyers, half listings, right? I don't know if you've heard this, but the ones that list last. So, even if you are heavy on the buyers for right now, hopefully those guys will give you repeat business in 3 to 5 years, and then you'll actually be a very heavy listing agent, because you'll be relisting those properties you help them sell. So, right here, we're going to do 50-50 just for the benefit of demonstration. And below that is average commission per unit. This is going to, be dependent on your local market. And also for you personally, what you set your percentage as for a listing agent and things like that. So take that into consideration. For today's purposes, we're going to make this nice, easy peasy and give it a good average number. I'm going to put 0 for leases because, again, this is a business that we're demonstrating that doesn't do any leases, right? And so over here on the right, you'll notice while we had gone through that, let me zoom out just a little so there's not so much talk, so much back and forth so you can see this. There we go. And so right here for profit goal, again, we set it for 100,000 for our annual profit take home after expenses. And right here, it breaks it down monthly for you. So I know I need to be bringing home about $8,300 to meet my yearly goal. This is a great way to project as well. Like if you know you have a family vacation planned for, second quarter, third quarter, well, then this number needs to be higher for the first beginning of your year, right? To get ahead of it. I know some agents that um, knew that they were coming up on family getaways or like surgical procedures, things like that, that they were having done for their health. And so they actually got ahead of it by working heavy in the first quarter so they could take a little light in your second quarter. So again, this might change depending on what you have going on month to month in your business or quarter to quarter, but this is a good average figure. Okay. Coming on down, business makeup. Again, we set this to be 50-50. This agent is going to do about 50% of their business with listings and 50% with buyers. And then it gives you that average commission per unit right here, just as a good visual. To the right is your full GCI breakdown, showing you that you need to bring in about 150K to be able to hit all of those numbers, right? To be able to hit what you want to bring home, be able to cover all of your cost of sales and also your operating expenses so you're not in the hole for anything, right? Okay. And I know Gary teaches lead with revenue, right? And so you also want to make sure that you're not leveraging yourself to the hilt on credit either. And this way, it'll help you grow your business based on your commissions and help you keep an eye on that. Okay. So if you're done setting these goals right here, next we can hit continue. And now we're going to jump into the conversion rates. And so here you can actually, okay, I just want to keep moving this up for some reason on the screen. There we go. I hope I'm not making anybody seasick with moving the screen so much. And so right here on the left-hand side, there's goal conversion rates. Now it does, as you can pop over this and see the rate at which one item converts into another, as in if how many what percentage of your leads actually convert to real contacts that you're able to actually nurture and move into a transaction? And then once you have an opportunity in one of the earlier stages, like an appointment stage, how many of those actually make it to holding the appointment? How many actually make it to going under contract? And then from there, how many actually make it into closing? So these are your conversion rates. How well did you convert your business step by step? You'll notice it has listings, buyers, and leads, so you can toggle back and forth to cover whichever one you want. You can set this individually, but there are defaults that are already set up for you. They may look a little different than what's on our screen if any of these have been manually adjusted. Let's say you came in and adjusted them yourself and then decide you want to go back to the default. You can always do that by clicking use recommended rates right here. It'll reset to the defaults for you. Okay. It's probably best to use those anyway right now, unless you are very experienced in your business and you are very in tune with your own personal conversion rates. Then by all means, go ahead and change these conversion rates to what is suitable for you. But if you're just starting out, really want to get a pulse on what your true business numbers are, not just what they kind of feel as you're going through your business, go ahead, start with the default, see where you land. And so you'll notice these are the same stages that we were looking at on the goals: leads, contacts, appointments kept, all the way down here. Did I zoom in too much? I did. Hold on. The balance of, nope. Okay, good. I wasn't missing anything at the bottom. So under contract or pending is actually where it halts right there. Closing, I guess, is just going to be um, lumped into that as well, or either just fed straight from your opportunities. And so here you can see your conversion rates from getting it under contract to closing. I just answered my own question. I'm sorry. For some reason, I had a brain blip. Once you've closed, there is no converting it to anything else other than maybe return business. And at this time, the goals don't track that. That's why we're not seeing closings right here. So the last number you'll see is under contract and converting that to closing. And you can see the percentages right here. Again, you can alter those if you toggle over to the set individually if you want to, or you can use recommended rates. And it just gives you a little blurb about pretty much everything I've just said. These are scheduled meetings with prospective clients and gives you a little example after each one. Okay. Over here on the right, just a chart, just a visual version to see what you're seeing over here on the left. And it is color coded for you just to show you how your funnel is coming down to work on that profit goal that you have. Okay. You can hit continue from here. And now we're just going to review those goals, see if you're comfy with them. Again, we're familiar with these two and actually the next two. All of these we've seen before as we were walking through setting up your goals. Just make sure you're good with these numbers. Let it be challenging to you, but I don't recommend letting it be like stress paralysis either. Like, don't let it freak you out so bad that you then do nothing. Right. And so, go ahead and set this as a reasonable number, something that would just blow you away if you actually hit and that you're excited to go after and achieve, but it still feels a little impossible. That's a good, healthy balance for this number, right? And you have your local market center staff there to help you and other agents to help cheer you on. You have us to help leverage. So there's no reason why you can't hit those numbers, right? So over here on the bottom right, just go ahead and set goals. This is going to track them in place. It's just going to update right here into our reports tab. You'll notice we're back here in the reports tab still, and that we're under the goals tab within reports. I'm going to hit refresh on my screen just because even though sometimes you come back and get those green banners of success saying you saved your information or you made the change that you were trying to make, every now and again it still needs a little refresher on the browser just to be able to see all of those changes. And now over to the top right, we can see that we can go and toggle over to our 2024 goals, and you can begin getting to track these and see these numbers populate as you get closer and closer to time. Right now, nothing is going to populate, obviously, because we're not quite there yet. We have 2 months and 13 days left to go. I wish it would populate right here so you could at least see your annual goal sitting here, but that's okay. It'll at least show you that updated GCI number and the cost of sales and everything, you'll start seeing this chart update. But as the numbers start rolling in, you'll start seeing these all adjust. And that likely will happen at the end of January, going into February, because remember, this is going to update once your office transmits. Okay, that's when you'll start seeing those numbers update. Guys, that is it for our goal setting course for 2024. If you have any questions and you're here live with me, please drop those in the chat. I'd love to go over those with you and help you get them answered. If you're watching this back on recording, you can always reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com, not just for troubleshooting, but also free resources and support services to help leverage your business. So just reach us, just holler. Thanks for watching.